Group by and partition by are used a lot when we do data work. There have been many questions about them. Some common questions are, what are the differences between group by and partition by? Or can they be used together? Let's try to answer these questions. I put together this comparison chart between group by and partition by. It's very informative. Both group by and partition by are used in the select statement. Both are used to do data groupings when we analyze data. Partition by must be used together with the over subclause. On the other hand, group by can be used together with the over subclause, but it does not have to. Group by does data aggregation. Therefore, group by may reduce the size of the returned data because the data has been aggregated. On the other hand, partition by does not do data aggregation. Therefore, partition by will not reduce the size of the returned data. Both group by and partition by can be based on multiple columns. Now, let's look at several use cases about group by and partition by. In the first use case, we want to find out the total sale amount for each territory in each month. I want you to pause the video. Think about this use case for a minute. What do we want to use? Group by, partition by, or both? We want to get the total sale amount. Therefore, we need to do data aggregation. We want to use group by. Here, we group by 3 columns. Here is the returned data. For the second use case, we want to find out the most expensive order for each territory in each month. Again, pause the video. Think about this use case for a minute. What do we want to use? Group by, partition by, or both? The best way to solve this type of questions is to use a SQL ranking function together with partition by. Here, we use rank and we partition by 3 columns. We also use a common table expression to help us filter out the most expensive orders. We can try to use other ways to solve this type of questions, such as select top 1 with ties, but you will find this is the easiest way. Here is the returned data. Lastly, in the third use case, we want to find out the top performing territory of each month and its total sale amount. Again, pause the video. Think about this use case for a minute. What do we want to use? Group by, partition by, or both? We want to get the total sale amount. Therefore, we want to do data aggregation. We use the aggregate function sum, and we group by 3 columns. To get the best performing territories, the best way is to use a SQL ranking function. Here, we use rank, and we partition by 3 columns. We also use a common table expression to help us filter out the best performing territories. I want you to take a very close look at this solution. Tell me whether this is correct or not. Obviously, in this solution, we have used both group by and partition by. Pause the video. Look at this solution for a minute. Tell me whether it's correct or it's wrong. Okay, we used the group by clause correctly, but for partition by, we just need to partition by 2 columns because we want to find out the best performing territory for each month. In summary, we cannot group by 3 columns. We just need to group by year and month. Here is the returned data. It's very important we clearly understand partition by and group by and use them correctly when we do data work. This is the end of our discussion.